living in your comfort zone has to make you so uncomfortable and so miserable that you're like, dude, this can't be it for me. There has to be more to this game called life. Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome to the Battle Ready Show. Again, I am joined with my good friend Nate Yamasaki. Today, we've got an interesting one for you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that external conversation where, I don't know about you, but I had this where for a long period of time, I was talking about guys and I'll say, hey, I was talking to guys and I'd be saying like, hey man, I'm going to lose some weight. I know I'm overweight. I know I'm unhealthy. I know I'm not strong and I'm going to do something about it. Yeah. And then people would be like, yeah, okay, we heard this before, Byron. Or why would you do that? You look fine the way you are. You're okay the way you are. What are you doing? Focus on what you're good at, which is counting, basically, because I was a financial consultant. You're good at that. Just do that. What are you worried about eating right for? What are you worried about not drinking for? So like the external voices got super loud. And for a long time, I don't know about you, Nate, but for me, I listened to the external more than the internal. And that eroded my confidence even more because then I was doing what they were all doing, where we would go out and I'd get shit-faced. And then when I was shit-faced, I would make terrible, terrible food choices because, well, I'm drunk as fuck. Mm-hmm. And pizza tastes better when you're drunk. So then I would slam like 3 pizzas. And then I would eat ice cream and donuts and everything else. And before I knew it, I was worse the week after I had said I was going to get better. And it was just like, fuck, man, how are we going to keep doing this stuff to ourselves? And then the confidence eroded further. And I'd look in the mirror and I'd hate myself a little bit more. And then I don't know why, but I just stopped talking and I just started doing. I stopped telling everyone. I wasn't going to go, hey, Nate, this week I'm going to change, bro. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to get stronger. I was just like, fuck it. Don't tell anyone. Because I knew that I ran into so much external resistance and the internal resistance was strong enough to make me question whether I was capable of it already. Because I'd done it so many times and I'd fallen off the wagon so many times that even my internal at that point was like, you didn't have it in you, kid. This is not for you. This is not your life. And I was like, fuck, okay. But I didn't need to compound that with external. So I just got to work and I just zoned out and I just did my thing. And I had my daily non-negotiables. And for a while, it was super simple. I'm just going to drink. I'm going to move my body for 30 minutes a day, whether that's walking or gymming, whatever it is, just 30 minutes. And then I'm going to make better food choices. I'm not going to make great food choices, but I'm not going to make bad food choices either. I'm just going to make better choices. So if there's a pizza or something else, I'm going to choose the something else, not the pizza. Mm-hmm. If there's pizza or nothing, I'd rather have nothing. And I'll figure out a food later where I can make a better choice, like a Chipotle or a fucking whatever. And I did that for like 30 days, 60 days maybe. And all of a sudden felt better, looked better, or like had less headaches and a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, damn, man, there's something to this, like just cutting out the external noise. Because what I realized in hindsight is that the people that tell you that you can't do it, they don't believe that they can do it, which is why they impose that on you. What's been your experience? Because I know you had a similar journey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What happened from your perspective?
You know, I think just most people in general, you're going to get around a group of guys or girls, your friends, right? And it's groupthink, right? And if you violate the groupthink, right, you're going to get called out. Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't know that they're doing it, but obviously that groupthink is somewhat tribal that, hey, if everyone's has the culture of, I call it college culture, where, you know, you've already graduated, you're an adult, but it's like you're still in college, you're still out partying, right? And if you violate that and say, hey man, I'm kind of done with this, I need to move on, it causes people to reflect on themselves, and it's a little uncomfortable.
Right.
And so for the most part, they're going to dissuade you. Right? You don't need to do that. Why you got to do that for? No, let's watch football. Let's watch baseball. Let's drink. And, come on, man.
It's one drink.
We need to relax. We need to, quote unquote, enjoy ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so, I faced that. And you kind of, I've talked about it in the past, just like you said, and you kind of have to just hustle in silence. And that's what I did. It just slowly but surely started making changes. I stopped telling people about what I was doing because I'd get too much resistance, and just go do it. Mm-hmm. And slowly but surely you get better. And those more than likely, those people aren't bad people. They just don't want to feel bad for themselves because maybe they're not in that position. Maybe not. They're not bad people. But what I learned that is I had to edit those relationships and start to put myself in, in places that were positive, like the gym.
Right.
Funniest thing, the biggest guys in the gym are always the ones that root for you the most.
Fact.
I used to think that they're going to tease me. They're going to like, look at this weak sauce. You know what I mean? You can't do shit. Those guys are your biggest cheerleaders.
Right.
And then all of a sudden a light bulb goes off. Oh shit, this is where I need to be because this is where the biggest cheerleaders are because they know how hard it is. Right. And so, it's, you just have to change the environment. I always like to use the analogy that, it's, you can't tip a stripper if you're not in a strip club.
Right.
Right. Well, you're not going to get a lot of negative hate as long as you can edit that relationship or out of that and go into a place where it's more positive. You know, it's more towards what you want. So that was big for me. I come from a culture that has a lot of groupthink.
Right.
Why are you doing that? Even, I ran out of the blue. I just decided, you know what? I'm going to run 33 miles. I trained a little bit for it. I was been running every single day. And everybody's like, dude, are you really going to run 33 miles? You're not going to do it in a race? I was like, no, I'm just going to go run it. I don't need a race to do it. Right. Because for me, I think that's a little bit harder, but I got a lot of hate. You got to train. You got to make sure your nutrition's on point. You got to say, well, I know a little bit. I'm just going to go do it. And it sucked, of course. Right? I definitely was cramping, but that's just a result of over the years just trying to quietly go do my own thing and make things happen, edit relationships. And you just have to put all that and just silence it and just, create your own path.
Absolutely. Because I think we're very similar in a lot of aspects, and the internal voice in your head is probably just as strong as mine when you're like, I'm going to run 33 miles. I bet there was enough going on internally to say like, you're fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
You don't have it in you. You can't do this. And I don't think we're unique in that. I think most men have that internal voice, but we just choose not to listen to it. Like I choose to challenge that motherfucker every single day. Like now it's got to a point where challenging him every day is easier than it was rewind 8 years ago or 7 years ago, where he ruled my life. Like I lived in so much fear and I was so scared to step outside of my comfort zone. I was like, well, I'm a banker. I'm a financial consultant. And this is what we do. Wednesday night, we go and get fucked up and we eat a bunch of shit food. Yeah. Thursday night, we get fucked up and we eat a bunch of food. Friday night, we get fucked up and end up in some kind of club. So it's like that was the thing that we did. So it's like, now I'm going to go against that. And then there was the external pressure. Like, hey man, we're going out. Why aren't you coming? And then I would lie. I'd be like, I overspent this month. I need to like check myself. They're like, you can run this off of your business. It's a good tax write-off and blah, blah. It's like, fuck, okay, we can't use that excuse again. What's the next time? I just don't feel very well. I'm not like, it's so embarrassed to tell people that I was determined to try and better myself and that I thought I was better than that lifestyle. And that the internal conflict that I was fighting every single fucking Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was ridiculous. Like the internal battle I was going through, where I was like, I don't want to be here. This is not fun for me, but I'm doing it because I have to be seen here, to be in this culture, to be seen as one of the team. And I was like, it was actually my dad who said to me like, hey man, if this is the life you're living and this is what you want to do, like who is the guy you want to be in 10 years from today? Like who is he in your chain of people that you hang out with? Is that, if you want to become that, keep doing what you're doing now. And I took a second. I was like, fuck, okay. So I actually looked at all of the guys, like top of the food chain, CEOs, everything. Because I was in board meetings a lot of the time. So I was hanging around with some pretty heavy hitting people. And I was like, there's not a single one of these motherfuckers I would trade places with. And for me in that moment, it was like, holy shit, we're in the wrong place. This is not for us. This is not what we do here. Yeah, cool. You got fetched in a fucking Rolls Royce. Who cares? Like it's bigger than that. When you feel like an imposter inside, there's a reason for it. It's because you know you don't belong in that environment. You know that it goes against who you are in your makeup. And then it got to the point, so I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to do me. And I just, like, blinkers on. I'm going to do this every single day, non-negotiable. And I just got to work. And then all of a sudden the results just fueled the fire, because you look in the mirror and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not fat, or I'm less fat. And I like the way I look. Oh shit, I got a fucking vein that runs down here. Damn. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I saw my first bicep vein, I was fucking done. It was over for me, dude.
Absolutely. It's a
I was
game
like,
changer.
Oh, shit, this fucking thing right here.
Yeah.
I was like, I want more of these, because I knew I was on the right track. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then it was just like this snowball and momentum that built.
Yeah.
But it had to just get beyond being in that comfort zone and just like getting away from being scared of other people's opinions. Because it took that realization that I wouldn't trade places with one of those motherfuckers for me to realize I was in the wrong place altogether. And it was like, holy shit. And my dad was hard on me as a kid. He was like, it was always like driving, like, hey man, you can do better. You should do better, da, 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 da. And when he hit me with that, I was like, fuck, he's right. He's 100% right. Who do I want to be in 10 years? Which one of these guys? And when it was not a single one of them, I was like, fuck, Byron, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this shit? Like, what's plan B? I didn't have plan B at the time, but I was like, okay, cool. I know that this is not it anymore. So I'm going to dial in my nutrition. I'm going to dial in my health, my fitness, and everything else. Because at the time, also, I was pre-diabetic. I had fucking heart issues. They were going to put me on blood pressure medication. 26 years old. Who is on blood medication at fucking 26 years old? I've already had kidney failure. So it's like, you're a fucking walking disaster, kid. Sort your shit out.
Yeah.
And then you're doing shit on 3 days a week. So of a 7-day week, just shy of 50% of your week, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But you think this is living. It's fucking escaping, man. You hate yourself and you hate life so much that you have to escape 3 days a week by drinking yourself to the point where most times I didn't even remember how I got home or remember beyond like 11 o'clock at night. It's like, well, I woke up the next morning feeling like shit, fucking head's throbbing, and it's like, shit, dude, okay, well, we're going to do this again. So slam back some water, try and like recover somehow, get a shower, put on another suit. And then by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're feeling semi-human again. And then you just fucking kill yourself again that night.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. And then on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I was consuming copious amounts of caffeine just to try and like function like a normal human being. And then when I would get home, I would hide behind a computer screen and game all day or all night. And then like, I'm like, bro, you're escaping everything. At no point do you like who you are and what you do, which is why you're hiding behind a computer screen gaming, which is why you're drinking yourself to a fucking stupor, eating like an asshole. Like, why don't you just like who you are and what you do and make some better choices?
Yeah.
And it takes not giving a fuck about the external, because they don't know what's best for me. I know what's best for me. It's in here. This tells you. If you're feeling anxious, depressed, whatever the case might be, if you're not feeling right inside and your headspace is all fucked up, it's because you're not living congruent to who you should be. And that's an oversimplification, I understand. But in my experience, when I was the most miserable, the most anxious, the most depressed, the most fucking borderline suicidal, it was because I was incongruent with who my internal self was saying, hey man, this is who you should be, and you're not doing it. Why? And I didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, it hit me kind of like, the group think was, the way I felt was, it was robbing me from my potential. Because I felt like there was extra gears that I wanted to discover.
Yeah.
That I think I had, but the group think was kind of holding me back.
Yeah. You're
or
stuck
being
in
in
neutral.
this, right? I'm stuck, right? Because if I go out and do that, I get a little bit of shit from everybody. Hey man, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? But I was really curious to see, hey, I've unlocked this. What else am I capable of? And for men, really that comes down to fitness, right? Because
100%.
we're very reptilian when it comes to fitness, right? That's why we respect superheroes when we're little kids. Why do we do that? Well, they represent strength, and they look like what we always wanted to be, right? So could I get into better shape? Could I run that 33 miles, or would I fall flat on my face? I don't know, but I want to find out.
Right.
Let's just find out. If I
There's
fall
beauty
flat,
in the finding.
right? And so I needed to discover these extra gears that may or may not exist in me. And if I fail, well, it's a lesson. I'll just figure it out and just move forward. But that couldn't exist if I listened to the critics, if I stayed within the groupthink. I had to kind of break free and get out of that, kind of do my own thing, and just be concerned about improving me.
Right.
And I think that's what makes what we do very special, because we're actually challenging guys to break out of the groupthink, to challenge yourself, find extra gears that you never knew you had, develop the skill sets, and then that spills over into, would you say, everything else?
Absolutely. I mean, think about how many guys you have conversations with. It's must be hundreds at this point, because it's hundreds for me, where guys are like, dude, I joined your program because I wanted abs. But now, like, my relationship with my wife is better. I have a better relationship with my kids. I function better at work. My business is crushing. Like, everything just gets better. And I'm like, you think?
Yeah.
Because you're disciplined, you're consistent. You do shit that most people don't want to do on a daily basis. You have the conversations most people won't have. Is it surprising that things are better, that you function better, that you're exuding off a different energy? Like, think about this for a second, right? You walk into a building and there's a jacked guy and there's, who cares how many, unfit, unhealthy guys. The shit hits the fan. Who's the person you thinking you have to kill first? It's always the jack guy.
Yeah.
Because he's got his shit together.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't matter if he's run every compound steroid under the sun. I don't give a fuck. The guy still has to do the work to look the way he looks. He still has to be disciplined to look the way he looks. That makes him fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's pre-wired in us to know that. So as soon as I see a jacked guy, I'm like, he's fucking on lock. He knows his shit. He's dialed in. He's consistent. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to be dialed in. I wanted to be consistent. I wanted to be disciplined, because I had none of that. And it showed up everywhere, mostly to me, because I made myself promises every single day, Nate. I was like, Byron, today we're going to do this. Today we're going to do that. Today we're going to be better. We're going to blah, blah, blah. And it's like fucking 9 p.m. came around and I was like reflecting on my day and I'm like, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I just lied to myself all fucking day again.
Yeah.
How can you be confident and proud of who you are when you can't even keep your word to yourself? So inherently, I knew that. And I was like, dude, we have to fix this shit. We need to get disciplined, consistent, dial our shit together. How do we do that? Fitness every day of the week.
Yeah.
Like, dial in, control the controllables.
Yep.
What you put in your mouth, you control. I can decide whether to drink this or not. I can decide to trade that in for a Coca-Cola or not. It's like, that is fully in my control. So I just controlled the controllables. Shit started getting better, and I was like, fuck, I think clearer. I function better. All of a sudden, I didn't have to work 18 hours a day. I was working like fucking 12 hours a day, and I was doing more than I ever did at 18-hour days, because I was fucking efficient.
Right.
And I was productive, not busy.
Right.
It's difference. And I was like, it took getting into better shape physically, and then all of a sudden, like, mental capacity just sparked. But like, dude, these guys that kind of, and you have these conversations too, where guys are like, oh yeah, I don't need to get fit, man. I'm already successful. I'm like 60 pounds overweight, but I'm a millionaire or whatever. I'm like, you could be more successful. I said, I bet that discipline that got you to 60 pounds is showing up in other areas of your life.
Absolutely.
Either your relationships are not as good, your business is not as profitable as it could be, maybe your kids fucking hate you or don't even know who you are. But there's somewhere where that 60 pounds that you're carrying is showing up as well. Every time, without fail. And if guys are truly honest with themselves and they do what I said in one of our previous videos, where I was like, stand in the fucking mirror and have a real hard conversation and real hard look at yourself, you know where that 60 pounds showed up. You knew where it showed up for you.
Oh, yeah.
I knew exactly where it showed up for me, in my consistency, in my discipline, in my conversations with myself, in my escaping every fucking day. Like, in my inability to have hard conversations with people that I should have like removed from my life literally 5 years before. But I just had them hanging on and just like drip feeding them and allowing them to still be around, because I was too much of a pussy to have a conversation and be like, hey man, you're fucking taking advantage of me and my kindness and my generosity. You need to fuck off now.
Yeah. It's huge. Boundaries are huge. And, you know, it's connecting the dots, I think, was a big thing for me. You know, I never really connected the dots that, hey, listen, if I just could get myself in better shape, dial in my food, eat properly, that would make me trust myself more. And then everything else I did and touched would be for the better, because I trusted myself now. And I start to do these hard events just because I want to find those extra gears. And I know I keep repeating it again, but most men don't know what they're capable of. because they're in this groupthink.
Yeah.
And they're so concerned about what everybody thinks that they actually never maximize their potential. Right? But once you start basically not giving a fuck about that, everything goes, oh shit, I ran, for 30 days straight. Oh shit, I ran for 60 days straight. Oh, I lifted for so many days straight. And next thing you just go, what else am I capable of? And now it becomes, I need to find my breaking point, right? Let me find my breaking point.
You said this. Oh my
and
God.
let me find where that breaking point is, and then let me see if I can redo it and not break again.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. So we were watching music videos last night. Scarlett loves to dance. So she stands in front of the TV and she does her like solo dancing now. And one of the music videos that came on was Creed 2, where he goes to the desert and he starts fucking like training in the desert. And I said to Hannah, I was like, I would fucking love that shit, dude. Where I like just get taken off grid for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, and just get the shit kicked out of me every single day. Like train like an animal, just push the absolute limits every single day, just to see how far I could go before I break.
Right.
She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, I swear, I think it's just like ingrained in us and it's in our DNA. Like, I want to know what I am capable of before I truly break. Not where I think I can break, but where I actually fucking break.
Yeah.
That's the reason I did the project. I wanted to know, can I be broken in 75 hours?
Right.
Turns out we couldn't.
No.
We graduated.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for us. But now we're looking for that next thing. You ran 1,000 and something days because you were like, can 1,000 days of running break me?
Yeah.
No, it couldn't. It got so easy for you, you started running fucking ultra marathons.
Yeah.
Like, that's how fucking crazy we are. But how many sad motherfuckers are sitting on the sofa every day and they break from a Snickers bar or a Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
That's their fucking breaking point? Really? Like, we transcended this. We got to a point where we're like, I will not be controlled by that, an inanimate object. That I feel is where you need to get to. And you will never get there by worrying about what other people think.
Never.
Or worrying about whether your mom agrees with what you're doing, or your dad, or your cousin, or your uncle. I've got family members that haven't spoken to me for a decade. Zero fucks. Zero fucks.
What are you going to do?
Right.
It's just what it is.
Yeah, don't talk to me. Don't be involved in my life. They didn't even fucking give me a call or send me a text when Scarlett was born. Cool. Don't worry about it. That's okay. I'm on a different fucking path completely. Your opinion hasn't mattered to me for a decade. Too many people worry about too many things, which is why they fucking hold back on Instagram as well. And it's like, oh, I couldn't possibly share this photo of me at an angle where I'm not quite leaned out. Dude, I post up my fucking progress pictures every day. 3 days ago, I had this fucking quad thing is nasty.
Yeah.
But I'm like fucking feverish and sweating and dying. My progress picture made me look 20 pounds more than I was. Like zero fucking abs. And I was like, fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Got so much shit talk on the internet. Bring it. Say what you're going to say. But I know that in 3 days I'll have abs again. You're still fucking fat, bro.
And
So
all
you
the
can
shit talkers are not getting after it, right? Again, because you never get hate from above. All the guys, they're all going to give you love. Everyone who's doing awesome and just trying to get better, the message is always love.
The loudest guys are in the fucking top of the stadium, bro.
Cheap seats.
Cheapest seats.
Yeah.
Right, so put a bow on this and wrap it up, Nate. Close us out, bro.
Yeah, all this is about just finding your potential, man. Find your potential, find those extra gears, and you might be shocked what you'll find, like what you're actually capable of, not just this small little pod of what you're doing.
Oh, 100%, man. And I couldn't agree with you more. It gets to a point where living in your comfort zone has to make you so uncomfortable and so miserable that you're like, dude, this can't be it for me. There has to be more to this game called life because this is too easy. Anytime things get too easy for me, I have to do something crazy. Yeah. I have to get out of my own way. I literally, Hannah's mom yesterday said to me, I'm worried about you. I said, you only need to worry about me when I start worrying about me. That's when shit gets serious. Like if I'm worried about me, you should definitely be worried about me. Until I'm worried, please don't worry about it. We're good. I promise you I have this shit under control. I have it on lock. So that's going to be the case at all times. It's a case of like, if shit gets too comfortable, it's too easy, get the fuck out of your own way, do something hard, test yourself, push those limits, and ultimately see what you're capable of. Because like you keep saying, there's gears in this game. And most guys are stuck in first or second gear. Bro, you've got another 18 gears to go. Like run them. Anyway, guys, that about sums up what we had to tell you today. do not listen to the external. The external is noise. Be driven internally. We talk about internal motivation a lot on the Battle Ready program. I hope you guys liked that video. Please like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. Cheers for now.